अश्वध्वजाय विद्महे पाशहस्ताय धीमहि तन्नः सूर्यः प्रचोदयात्।
Namaskara. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mitraya Namaha to all Mitras. It is indeed a great privilege to welcome our Honorable Chief Guest, Shri D.M. Chandrasekhar, Retired Chief Justice, High Court of Karnataka. Hearty welcome to you, sir. And all of you who have come here to attend the introductory of Arkavidya, an age-old Vedic and yogic secret to channelize the all-powerful Surya energies. I now request the Honorable Chief Guest and respected Guruji to kindly come on to the dais and light the lamp. Begin the program with an invocation by Dilip Sinha.
Sharanam Vijaya Saraswati Maye 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 Sarva Jiva Daya Pari Brahma Jaye Sharanam Vijaya Saraswati Maye Sarva Jiva Daya Pari Brahma Jaye Sharanam Vijaya Saraswati Maye निरवधि सुखदायकि नीरजाक्षी निरवधि सुखदायकि नीरजाक्षी निरवधि सुखदायकि नीरजाक्षी निरवधि सुखदायकि नीरजाक्षी सरसीरुहाक्षी सर्वसाक्षी सरसीरुहाक्षी सर्वसाक्षी शरणं विजय सरस्वती मय सर्वजीवदया परि ब्रह्मजाये शरणं विजय सरस्वती माये क्षर अक्षरादि सर्वभूतव्यापी सर्वयन्त्रमन्त्रतन्त्रस्वरूपी क्षर अक्षरादि सर्वभूतव्यापी सर्वयन्त्रमन्त्रतन्त्रस्वरूपी वरलक्ष्मी गौरी वागीश्वरी वरलक्ष्मी गौरी वागीश्वरी वरलक्ष्मी गौरी वागीश्वरी हरिकेश सदा लौकरी राणी हरिकेश सदा लौकरी राणी शरणं विजय सरस्वती माये सर्वजीवदया परि ब्रह्मजाये शरणं विजय सरस्वती माये. Thank you.
I now request Guruji to kindly garland and honor our chief guest. I now request our Mitra Shri Ram Prasad ji to kindly introduce the chief guest.
Good evening. Welcome to all of you. I want to introduce our former Chief Justice. Of course, I need not introduce. Everyone knows from our state of Karnataka. But still, for this occasion, when I introduced our Guruji to Sri D.M. Chandrasekhar, he said DM means Dharmamurti. What a fitting name, befitting name. It did not flash to me, but ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಸರಳತೆಯ ಮೂರ್ತಿಯೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಡಿ ಎಂ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ್ ಅವರು. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಯಾವತ್ತಿನ ಸಹ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಬಹಳ ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಟಾಕ್ ವೆರಿ ಫ್ರೀಲಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಗ್ರೀವೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಲಾರ್ಡ್ಶಿಪ್. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಸಹ ಟುಡೇ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಇಮ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲೆಷರ್ ದಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ ಚೀಫ್ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ kindly consented to preside over the function and bless all of us. Thank you very much.
I now request the chief guest to kindly distribute the certificates for the Arkavidya for the students.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my proud privilege to introduce to you Keshara Mitra Sri V.S.P. Teneti, my Guruji. Indeed, to speak about him is like asking the sun its right to shine. He is an efficient teacher, friend, philosopher, counselor, and guide to thousands of people. With the audience, I would like to share a few merits of my Guruji, who leave many stupefied and astonished. Basically, he is a central school student with love for journalism. He is an MA LLB, a crystal clear master channel, famous astronumerologist, face reader, omni healer, graphologist, Apollo Vastu healer, Vastu expert, and affectionately called Vastu Supremo in Andhra Pradesh. Aura, Chakra, Dream Analyst, Gemstone Charmer, editor of the famous Gita magazine, Mantra, Tantra and Yantra Sadhak. He has received the prestigious Nandi Award by the government of Andhra Pradesh for his excellent script in a Telugu movie. He has received many awards and accolades as well. The list is endless. Life Positive magazine featured him under the special issue titled The Pride of Andhra. Indeed, he is the pride of Andhra. Blessed by Sri Aditya Purnananda Swamiji and Sri Muthu Krishnananda Swamiji. Sri VSP Teneti, my Guruji, propagates the healing power which like waves are emanating from the sun. I would now like to request our Mitra Sri Ram Prasad ji to garland Guruji.
Honorable Chief Guest of the day, brought over to Gandhi Bhavan by Mr. Ram Prasad. I thank him a lot because the moment I could see him, the name which was told to me, I felt he is the right person. I said, we'll have a chief guest. We did not have any choice. The very first person, the name which was given, had immense power. The name which I could feel, I could get several vibrations which are required for the certificates to pass over to the students. I thank you very much, sir, and we are honored. This is a very slow, steady, small, gradual beginning which you are making. We should have done it last year. It took us one more year. Now the speed is slowly increasing. We are spreading over. Without you, nothing could have happened. So I thank you all, Mitras, for your wonderful cooperation. The biggest, I would like to tell you a basic factor, because I would have to scream out, I have to raise my voice a little. I will be having to explain a lot, all because it is spirituality which has come into the section of marketing. That is the joke of the century. Spirituality has come down into the marketing code, and if I had to market spirituality better, I could have done it, as I always tell, with a long beard, saffron clothes, lots of Rudraksha malas, with a blessing hand. It would have become easy. Of course, there will be opposition everywhere. No man can satisfy everybody. But my intention is not to catch hold of people who decide spirituality or by appearances. I know people who come down to Arkavidya. I tell people, my mother tongue being Telugu, being a writer in Telugu and in other languages too, but particularly in Telugu, I could have done my workshop in Telugu, which is, I have a little name as a writer, and I would have attracted crowds, but that is not my purpose. My purpose in coming out with Arkavidya is, it is totally different. I wanted people with a reasoning, with an understanding, with experience, qualified people, and trust me, people who have joined into Arkavidya, each and every one, I don't have even one exception. Everybody have got a very big biodata. They are all individually very big people in their own lines. They are all qualified, educated, who know the basic fundamentals of spirituality, who know what is God. They are very good readers, educated people, intelligent people are walking into it, and they are judging it. So I thank you all very much for it. Before I proceed further into the aspect of Arkavidya, I would like to tell you, it is multiplying now, it is reaching Chennai, it is reaching Pune, it is going to Bombay and Delhi and Ludhiana shortly. The opening will happen this year, which is already scheduled. It is all because of you. But I tell you, this is only the beginning. I am seeing a meeting held somewhere after 10 years, probably in 2014 or 2015, where I will have thousands of people. Not thousands of people who have got experienced Arkavidya, the Vajrakilana, the Shamantaka Vidya levels, all from the beginning level, because they have seen it. So we will be distributing a small magazine in the last, which is called The Inner Vision, which answers several of your questions. So before, I would like to tell you one fundamental thing. Why should spirituality be marketed? Why should spirituality be sold? Yes, it should have been in a Gurukulam. It should have been in a Gurukulam where 12 or 10 years of life has to be spent in Gurukula. and then the guru checks up the student, he finds out where the egos are there, he pulls them out, he clears them, he asks him to fetch a pail of water from down the hill, he will control his egos, his angers, his reasonings, and then ultimately pour into him the amrut of spirituality. But now it's true, people cannot become doctors, engineers, advocates, scientists, police officers, chartered accountants, everything at a single time. One becomes a specialist in one or two lines. So similarly, spirituality, many people like to. And I tell you, spirituality is not taught. Nothing can be taught. We can take the horse to the pond, but we cannot make it drink. Spirituality has to happen. But only thing I can tell you, we have used a word called mitra. It has got a lot of meaning and pain in it. I don't want to take it through the word guru, because I am wiping away the barriers of guru and shishya. My intention is not to be a guru here. If someone is a software engineer here who can teach me something about it, he becomes my guru. So I am a tourist guide. With folded hands, I requested every mitra, please accept me only as your gardener, as your watchman. I am not into that guruism or babaism. That is not my fundamentals. I am trying to tell you what I have learned. I know very well, nothing in God's creation is a finished painting. Everything is incomplete by itself. There is no word something like perfection, because perfection has to be perfected. So perfection is never the ultimate. Anything perfect can also be made much more perfect. Nothing is perfect. So I'm not complete. That is what they say. Om Purna Madaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. That is referred to Atman, to God, as Purnam. So a spoonful brought out of this Purnam is also a Sampurnam, and what is left out in that Sampurnam is also a Purnam. But here in Arkavidya we begin with a sloka called Om Sunyamadaha Sunyamidam Sunyat Sunyamudachyate Sunyasya Sunyamadaya Sunyameva Vasishyate. I am very much honored. Vedic scholars, people who are teaching Vedas from around 14-20 years have joined my workshop. I have got people from all castes, creeds, religions, people from different walks of life have joined Arkavidya, and ultimately I get one thing: it is good. We are enjoying it. It is excellent. Okay, it is not everybody who may find miracles, and miracles, finding wings over the shoulders, suddenly overnight becoming a millionaire, or suddenly some miracles happening in their life. This may be left to a few, because it again depends on the person. The food served, how it is eaten, how it is chewed, and how it is digested. It depends on the whole system of the body also. It is the same food which can be served to everybody, but the digestive system gives the reply. So I request everybody, there is a saying, say some books are to be read, some books are to be chewed, and some books are to be read, chewed, and digested. And sadhanas too. There are many great sadhaks. I am not trying to tell people who are growing their beards, who are decorating their foreheads with lots of vibhuti, wearing garlands, putting big bottus, are inferior bhaktas. We cannot weigh bhakti. There is nobody on this earth who can measure bhakti. Bhakti has we do not have weighing stones where to find out who is a bigger devotee, who is complete. It is impossible. But the one wonderful thing I will tell you, the basic point where I catch hold of the students is one single thing. In our childhood, we were taught everything. Many people say, what is the spirituality? Is Shaivam correct? Vaishnavam correct? Ganapachyam correct? Dattathreyam correct? Sauram correct? Shanmukham is correct? Where we are able to find out whether Hinduism, in Hinduism we have got several sectors, different Christianity, Islam, Jainism, Buddhism, Zoroastrianism. Nobody is able to arrive at a single point of bhakti because it is so wide. These are all the different routes to bhakti. And the reason is A for apple, B for ball, C for cat, D for dog. All these things were taught to us from our childhood. They were really taught to us from our childhood. We would not have. We know very well they are not useful to us. And when people say the heart has to be free, human Manava Seva is Madhava Seva, these statues and all are nonsense. How do you define it? It is not possible. The reason is, I would like to tell you we do, because many of these people here, they are already well acquainted with what I tell to people. But we know very well when you ask a group of people like this, I tell them this is the forehead, this is the nose, this is the mouth, this is the cheek, and I ask them all to lift a hand and move their fingers around in a clockwise direction and place the hands on the chin, and I display it like this. Almost 1,000 people in the audience, 900 people keep the fingers here, not here. When I said chin and I display it here, they keep it here because I have put it here. So people are guided by the senses: eyes, nose, mouth, ears, touch. So these are all our 5 senses by which we judge things. And there is something which is beyond our judgment. When we are involved, everything is taught to us. And there is one point where people say, if I say the capital city of North Korea is Pyongyang, this is my common point. What you have to say, you have got only 3 answers to say. Yes, no, or I don't know. But there are people who carry the 4th answer on their shoulders: I don't believe. Things which they do not know, they are put under the list, I don't believe. Mother is fact, father is faith. It cannot be displayed to him, I cannot believe. I don't believe in astrology, I don't believe in numerology, I don't believe the sciences, this is puja is nonsense. Such people do not believe themselves. The word I don't believe, if you want to criticize Bible, read it. If you can go through the entire Bible, you will surrender to it. Go through the entire Quran, you will never criticize it. People who criticize, they are the people who have not gone through it. So, I don't mean to say criticism is wrong, but a positive criticism is required. So, our human brain, till 20 years we have spent in innocent infancy, bachpana tha, almost till 25 years. From 25 to around 45 is the age where we reap the consequences of the seeds which we have sown. And you count down 45 or 50, few latecomers from 30 to 60, that is 30 years of life. In 30 years I count it as 10,000 days. Out of the 10,000 days, we are sleeping for 3,000-4,000 days. We are carrying this human briefcase from our childhood, and we do not know where is the liver, where is the spleen. If there is a problem from something inside our body, we go to a doctor. And how do you conclude this entire thing as I don't believe? I say be open. That's what I tell them. That does not mean that you go and blindly fall into a ditch. You have to have a reasoning. You have to have an understanding. And if you don't understand, ask someone. If you don't trust, you can stop it. If you don't find it right, it can be stopped. But that does not mean that you propagate that I don't believe. And from our childhood, what is taught to us is, the reason for not believing is also because we are not properly taught about it. Many people say, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, Jack and Jill went up the hill. These were the poems which were taught to us in our childhood. Do they have any use today in our real life career or academics? But why was it taught to us? It was taught because we were given a slate with marbles upon it. You know, half of the slate and there were marbles, we were trying to move it and then count. Today we don't require that to count. We don't require all that. Till 5th class, 6th class, 7th class, we had general science, social studies, etc. But after that, in 10th class or intermediate, what has happened, we have specialized into one group. We have gone into science, we have gone into mathematics, we have done CEC or BPC, BIPC or whatever different groups have been taken. After that, further we are going in specialization in graduation level and PhD level. But at Bhakti, what has happened? We have been taught how to talk. Mother carried us, she gave us morsels of food. She was asking her to say Amma, different Nana, Baba, baby, apple, ball, and that's how we learned how to speak, how to talk, how to walk. We were given a 3-wheeler to walk around. But in Bhakti we were not taught. Today there are parents who cannot teach computers to the children. They have stopped at a certain point. In the childhood, we were asked to, if my father would have taken me to a church in my childhood, I would have been a Christian. If my father would have taken me to a mosque in my childhood, I would have been a Muslim. Then why should I limit myself to be a Hindu just because my father had taken me to a temple? That's what I say. Here, these are religions were created to unite people. Unfortunately, we are using it to divide. Here, everything in God's creation is a two-edged weapon. Everything. You can use a knife to cut some fruits. You can chop a neck off. You can use a matchstick to light a lamp. You can burn a house down. With your own mouth, with this language, you can say God bless you, or you can even curse him. You can use a vulgar language. Everything is a two-edged weapon. In spirituality, there are different forms of bhaktis. Somebody says you have to do abhishekam to God. Before Ganesha, you have to hit your head like this and do an acrobat there. Somebody says you have to do apradakshinam there, you have to do pradakshinam. There is a saying that Navagrahas, you should not do 9 pradakshinas at all. It is very wrong. You have to do only 7 pradakshinas because Rahu and Ketu are apasavya grahas. You have to do 2 back.
Though if you do 9 pradakshinas, it is very bad. You have to go around. So we were not given all this, but they were given. It is not our mistake. It is not their mistake. It is our mistake. Because all the treasures of literature were put in Sanskrit. In our Kathopanishad, Taittiriyopanishad, Prashnopanishad, Mandukyopanishad, Brihadaranyaka, in our Vedas, they were all given in creamy Sanskrit. And unfortunately we have lost the keys. We do not know Sanskrit. So that's where the treasure is hidden. And this we are trying to tell people, that after 7th class or 10th class, as you grow in specialization into your education, similarly you need to have a prospectus or a syllabus for Bhakti. Arkavidya is trying to provide people the prospectus and syllabus of Bhakti. People who do Arkavidya, they will know what are the different perspectives of Bhakti, what are the different fields of Bhakti, and Arkavidya ultimately tries to promote Rajasika Bhakti. Not Sattvika Bhakti. Sattvika Bhakti cannot be promoted. Sattvikata itself will not fit into the word promotion. Sattvikata has to be your nature. Sattvika Bhakti is, you find a beggar, you remove your shirt and give it off. Your wife gives you money and asks you to go to the market to get vegetables. You go there, on the way you find a beggar, you give it off. That is the stories of great people like Kabir, Tukaram, etc. That was their lifestyle. So people are afraid. If you tell your children the story very clearly of Harishchandra's story, they will be afraid, and the moral you teach them is you should never be honest, you should never be truthful. That is how people are frightened. So Bhakti also was so frightful. Somebody says Lalita Sahasranama should not be chanted, Devi Khadgamala should not be chanted, it should not be done, it should be done only in the Brahmi Muhurtam, it should not be done in the evening. Have I to do it 108 times? Should we move the mala like this? If the mala is 109 seeds is there, it is going to be dangerous. If the wick should not be, the light should not be left in the temple on. While you leave the temple, it has to be offed. Some says offing the temple, the light in the temple is a big crime. So there are different definitions in Bhakti, but they are all different dishes. As we have got South Indian dishes, North Indian dishes, continental dishes in food, they are all different too. They are the 100 gates which lead you to the same sovereign vertex point of ascension. In Arkavidya, we are trying to take them step by step, with examples, very happily enjoying. But one thing, the reason why people stop entering into spirituality, we are giving them several mantras, several mudras, which are channeled. But what do mantras and mudras mean to common man? How will they affect them? What is the procedure of chanting a mantra? How many times it has to be chanted is a confusion. What are the difference between a mala mantra and a bija mantra? How bija mantra should not be chanted? All these have become a part of Arkavidya, step by step, to take them into deeper sadhanas. And why we recommend Rajasika Bhakti is, I want all my mitras. Mitra is the other name for Surya. Mitra has got another meaning, friend. So Surya's other name is Mitra. We call all Arkavidyatis, we treat each and every one who are here as Surya Bhagavan himself. And I feel I am addressing to Surya Bhagavan, that's all, directly. So here what I tell, when we are teaching this Arkavidya, we are asking them through an initiation process. And how will an initiation process work on a person? It works through total faith. You must be knowing the wonderful story of a person called Arjuna in Mahabharata, who had been trained by Dronacharya to become the biggest archer of the world. But to his great shock and surprise, he was finding Ekalavya there, who was much more well-versed than Arjuna. And do you know who is the Guru to Ekalavya? It is the statue of Dronacharya. Now tell me, where is the power? Is it in the Guru or it is in the faith of the Guru? It is in the faith, the absolute surrender. That is what is needed. And how do you get an absolute surrender in a person? Children are not surrendering themselves to their parents. Wives are not surrendering to their husbands. Husbands are not surrendering to their wives. You are not surrendering to the government. How can you surrender to somebody? It is not possible. It becomes, and I tell you, as long as you are in the stage of a caterpillar, you can never accept the colors of a butterfly. But it is the same caterpillar that transforms into a butterfly. You tell 101 stories to the caterpillar, it will not accept. It needs a transformation. It needs a triggering, and that triggering is initiation. Initiation is Upadesha Prakaranam. And Upadesham, people, you hear the word Upadesh, you hear the word Shaktipat, you hear the word Kundalini, you feel these are not for us, these are not our dishes. This has to be done somewhere in Himalayas. You have to have a person, a great yogi. There's one small point which I would like to tell you. A person was in search of his guru. He was traveling to the forest, and at last he could find under a banyan tree, there was a young man of 30-35 years talking to around 35 students there, all young boys of around 20-22 years. He was telling them all glimpses of the Puranas and Itihasas. This man stopped, observed that young guru there, and he said he went to him after the speech had an interlude. Just now as I had a break for my mic, so there was a gap there. So this man went up to that gentleman and said, I am in search of a guru, sir. I think you are the right person to explain me how a true guru looks. So I am in search of a true guru. So this man said, you are on the right path, you have already come halfway through. This is the right place you have come, but go further and further. You will ultimately find a person, a very old man with a big beard, with radiant eyes. Look into his eyes, look into the eyes of the Guru. That will pull you towards him. And then you have to consider that he is the Guru. This man thanked him and he went away searching for the Guru for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years. After 25 years he could find that old man under a banyan tree. At last he could find out the Guru. He fell at his feet, Guruji, I am searching for you. And when he looked closer to the person, he was shocked. This was the same man who gave the information on that day under the tree. But he could not accept him because he was too young. Your mind is programmed. When I say newspaper, will you accept a newspaper of this size? Your mind makes a picture of a big size newspaper. You're already programmed from your childhood into several notations. This cannot be a newspaper. I will sell you a small booklet saying this is a newspaper. No, this is not a newspaper. A paper which has news is a newspaper, but you will not accept. Because and why these bhakti forms are all given, we are trying to be very simple. In 1 hour or 45 minutes of an introductory, it is impossible for me to give you a total taste of the entire Arka Vidya, Shamantaka Vidya, Mahashamantaka Vidya, the Vashikumbhaja, the Keshara Vidyas, the 7 levels which I am going to take people step by step and step by step. It's a long way to go, and we are taking only 2 days out of your busy schedule, and out of that I am only squeezing out half an hour of your practice time for sadhana. Only half an hour of your time. People come down here in the beginning for Arka Vidya. After doing the 2 days course and the 2 initiation punches which happen on their backbone, that the transformation begins. At times it becomes late. Every seed which is planted does not become a tree. It takes little time. There are several doubts, several wrong programmings, several misunderstandings in the mind. So they don't do the true. And sadhana itself has got a testing way. That is the reason when we are doing sadhanas and the energy rising from our lower level to the higher level, it itself disturbs you. It's a snakes and ladders game. Doing any sadhanas, the first devil which is going to eat you is ego. Within no time, I feel I have got a handful of sishyas here and I become a guru and start blessing you with this posture. If I do that, within no time, I think my electricity power is gone. Because I am the zero and Nandu Baba is the hero. The people falling at the feet, I feel it is my achievement. These are all my sishyas. If I use that word there, I am triggered down. That is the ego. And tomorrow I will tell the same aspect to my people. You know, I have got so many sishyas at Bangalore, at Chennai, at Karnataka, at Delhi, at Bombay. And when I call them sishyas, I don't become the guru. My growth stops. I become a Lilliput. Here we are not trying. I am like a boat here. I tell my students very clearly. It is a boat. This is the way to Ramapuram. Don't consider me a person who is trying to initiate you as a person who is already enlightened and a big Kundalini yogi. Don't call me Sri VSP Tinneti, Guru Ratna or something. Don't have that. Don't put on horns to me. Don't put on a crown on my head. I don't require that. I know people who have got love in their eyes, their devotion to me. And when they fold their hands towards me, I fold their hands towards them. And this is the cosmic consciousness which I want to achieve. Because I am very honored. I have got very qualified people, doctors, engineers, such busy people whose appointment for me, if I go and try to contact them, I will not get their appointment. Such busy people have joined into Arka Vidya. They are in love with me. They are in love with Arka Vidya. They send me letters. They send me emails. I am very much honored. And one thing I would like to tell you, one last point. There are people who purchase a stepper, a cycle, some dumbbells at home. They are very emotional people who begin a walking down that park there. What is that? Kaban Park? It's a wonderful park which you have showed me several times. Talking about Kaban Park, people do the walking there. Do you think everybody is a walker? They are emotional walkers who might have started 1 week back, who will stop after 1 week. The cycle which is purchased, for 1 week they practice. After 1 week it becomes only a hanger. You throw all the dress there and it is folded aside. Everything, you do a course, after 10 days of initiation you throw the course aside. You get nothing out of it. if you are going towards a sadhana, you have to prolong it. Not if you tie this hand which you are using from your childhood. In one of my sadhanas, I had to do 128 days of Maunavrat. The mouth which is talking from my childhood, 128 days I stopped talking. Once I opened up the Diksha, I could not speak for 2 days. My voice has gone. That was the voice which is coming out. You'll be surprised. When I had stopped eating food for around 111, 112 days, after the food was served, it was difficult for me to eat. It was not tasty. It was something peculiar. And after I had the food, I was unconscious for around 20 hours. I was lost. I was not in this world. I slept like this. So this, I would like to tell you, anything without practice, nothing happens. It's as simple as that. You go to a gym for 1 or 2 years, any young person, a 40 years, 50 years, 60 years person can go to a gym. Don't think it is only for teenage boys. You will have an instructor there who will tell you, follow him for 1 or 2 years. You will find your muscles on. But there are people who go to the gym, do for 20 days, stop it. They want something immediately to happen. They want everything to crop up immediately. That which will never work. It will never happen to you. You have to do the sadhana. Sadhana is your job. And to do that, why I have to shout, why I have to travel all these spaces for the spirituality is only chosen people come. Not everybody. There are people till today on the records. We have got 32 students who have paid fees for Arkavidya, who promise that we are going to come for this batch and who never turn up. And that's why we announce that it is Surya who chooses them. We cannot do. And it is, if anybody is trying to think that it is promoting spirituality by some supremacy or trying to create a cult or something, you also can do that. Try it. You start a course, you create a legacy, and you start blessing people. You will find 10, 20 people benefited by your blessing, but the fuse is gone. Your tank is only, you have got 1 lakh rupees in the bank. You issue 10,000 rupees check, it will be honored. After 1 lakh, you issue 2 lakhs check, it will be bounced. In order to initiate people, you can call anybody a guru. Initiate people, a guru requires to have tons and tons of energy in his tank. If it does not have, the energy is exhausted and is crippled. That is why several people, several sadhaks who are in the gurukulas, who are into ashrams, doing the sadhanas, after 5 or 10 years, they are becoming so popular, ultimately they fall into several vices. They are caught by Tehelka.com and they are ultimately on the roads, because it is not that they are all rogues. Don't consider every guru or a Swamiji who's caught into some negativity that he is a rogue, he is only trying to project in the wrong way. It is because he could not pursue the sadhanas and withstand the power of it. If he does a sadhana, he is a person who will be engulfed by ego. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madamatsariyas. The Arishad Vargas pounce upon him. He will be the person who will be cursing. It has happened with Vishwamitra. It has happened with Agastya. It has happened with the Devatas. The ego pulls them. That is why they said these Arishad Vargas have to 1 hour. For that you require a person where a faith has to be understood. If you want to climb a mountain, first you plan to stand at the mountain. I want to see, is it really 200 feet height? How can you find out whether it is 200 feet height or not? You have to climb it. No other go. Without climbing, people judge. No, this is not 200 feet. It is useless. How can you judge? This judgment happens because you will stand outside and you judge, you come to a conclusion. You don't go to only spirituality. It happens with your Santro. It happens with your car, with your scooter. You purchase a scooter, second-hand scooter for 7,000, you will have a friend telling you, why did you purchase this, man? This is waste. One fellow says you got it for cheaper rate. One fellow says you should have taken an LML, you could have taken a Hero Honda, nothing, and you are ultimately left in confusion. You feel that you have purchased nonsense for 7,000 rupees. You don't have peace of mind. That is what is happening. I tell you, we are almost coming to the edge. In Arkavidya we are trying to find, because as an astrologer from the past 21 years, 22 years, I am into astrology. I started it in 1979. It was my evening dish. Evening I get 4 to 5 people coming down to my chamber and I look at their palms. I don't say I'm the greatest astrologer, but I'm a very great reader. I'm an audacious reader. By that I could put on, and I've finished around 35,000 clients. People suffering from problems in all walks of life. Had I had some miracles in my hand, with a movement of a hand I could have made miracles and everybody's problems to be solved. But it is not that possible. I can show you the way. I can give you a torchlight to your hand while you are traveling, but I cannot change your direction. I tell people, if this is the weighing pan in your hands, learn Arkavidya. These are your problems, these are your negativities. I cannot remove them. It will be like this, but I will add positive energy into this hand. It will go up, so that all your problems, they become weightless. You can blow them away within no time. This is what happens whether it is astrology, whether it is yantra, whether it is tantra or it is mantra. You are given the shield, not the weapon in Arkavidya. You are given how to shield. We are not trying to teach you. Tantra does not mean I am going to teach you how to capture someone, how to catch hold of your chief minister, how to catch hold of that girl for marriage. These are not the tricks of black magic which we are trying to teach you. In Arkavidya, we are not trying to teach you the tricks of black magic. We are trying to teach you the tricks of protecting yourself from black magic. And these different problems which I am seeing in my profession, they all fall under different heads called Navagraha Dosham, Graha Dosham, Gruha Dosham. All these things are the different aspects which you fall. I tell my people about the Navagraha, a small happy episode to everybody which they know, that the presence of Surya, Chandra, Buddha, Guru, Shukra, Shani, Rahu, Ketu, this responsibility of the planets on your life, I tell them a small jovial story. If Surya is good, you will have a name and fame. If Chandra is good, you have love and affections. If Buddha is good, you will have a good buddhi. If Guru is good, you will have respect and honor. You will have name and fame. Recently, to tell you, we will take a small interruption, where the Guru Jupiter has entered into Simha Rashi now. We are in a wonderful time, a time where people who are honest, people who are into spiritual practices, people who are by nature good with human qualities, they are not guilty. They will have a wonderful time for the next coming 1 year, 7 months. They are going to have a beautiful time. This is going to be the best period from now. Almost it has started a week ago. You might be finding the vibrations in the past 1 week. And you know, these planets, I am not talking about the Karakatvas. I am not talking about the Mars, the own house as Mesha and Vrishchika. I am not talking about Ucha and Nicha. I am not trying to explain astrology to you. We in Arkavidya, to pacify the planets, what do you do to pacify planets? How do you pacify the planets? You go to a temple. You ask the Purohit to do some archana on your behalf, or they ask him to do some abhishekam. That's how it goes. But in Arkavidya, you can do within 2.5 minutes the puja for the entire Navagrahas through mudras. You are taught how to do. And I tell students here about the different forms of bhakti. I explain them so clearly because many people say I am reading Bhagavad Gita from my childhood. I do Vishnu Sahasranama daily 6 times. I do Narasimha Ashtakam daily. I do Rudrabhishekam. I do so many slokas, mantras, etc. Lalita Sahasranama, I know it by heart. Devi Khadgamala I do Aditya Hrudayam, I do Hanuman Chalisa, I read Sai Satcharitra, I go to the temple daily. This is what they complain. But is it right? What are you doing is right. You know where you are standing. That is clearly explained in Arkavidya. You are given the prospectus and syllabus. We are falling into a confusion because the God forms are so many. One says Vishnu, Shiva, Ganapati, Santoshima, Ayyappa, Subramanya Swami. What is right? Whom to pray, whom not to pray? You are in a confusion. But one thing I would like to tell you very clearly, a wonderful example which has come to me through experience. If I give you all a plate full of Hakoba, how will you eat it? That's my question to many. If I give you a plate full of Hakoba, how will you eat it? You cannot tell. But if I give you a plate full of jalebi, how will you eat it? You will immediately say, I can eat it with my hand. Because your mind is able to make pictures of jalebi and your mind is not able to make the pictures of Hakoba because you do not know what is Hakoba. Because I also do not know what is Hakoba. So, when I give you that in a plate, what happens with it is your mind requires to make pictures. Otherwise, that is the reason why God forms are created. You have a jalebi form of a god, a monkey form of a god. You got we call him Hanumanji. Your mind is concentrating towards it. It's a Vanara Rupa. What is Vanara? You go to, what is Ganapati? When you talk about Ganapati as an elephant, it looks like an elephant to you. When the secret behind Ganapati is explained to you about the knowledge, about the ears which have got keen hearing sense, about the trunk which says that it can smell afar, it can find out the inner galaxies of a person, then you understand what is the symbolic formation of Ganapati. These are all pictures given to you, and this is the elementary level. As the slate which I was talking about with the marbles on, you are counting with your fingers. When you start this elementary level of bhakti, that is what is given in our Bhagavad Gita, that is given in Upanishads also. You pick up Lalita Sahasranama, there is, on the book there is a statutory warning. Don't read this book is not useful to you. Cigarette smoking is injurious to health. It is very clearly given. Antarmukha Samarajya, Bahirmukha Sudurlabha. Whatever you are doing inside is only bhakti. Doing outside you will never get God. Antarmukha Samaradhana does not require you to chant these things. If you chant, you have to know the meaning of it. You have to know. See, I tell you what is chanting and non-chanting. What is the difference it makes by knowing the meaning of it and non-knowing. A revolver with full bullets, it is loaded and given to a child. It is fit to be shot. You can press the trigger and it blasts. But find the difference between a revolver which is loaded and given to the hand of a shooter. When it is given, he aims. The missing ingredient here is the aim, the triggering, the right way of shooting. So in Mantra Shastra, when the initiation happens, when the pupil accepts the person as the guru, then the transformation happens. A total surrender. You can surrender yourself to any guru. It need not be one. And the guru can be a statue. But a total surrender is required. Not surrendering, I am doing this puja for several years, nothing is happening. If you do not have a direction, please come down to Argya Vijaya. I will take you to the deeper dominions. It is not going to stop. Don't think I will finish off a workshop within 2 days. I am with you. I am after you. I am inside you. I am along with you everywhere, wherever you are. I keep a slow, regular track upon you. I call my mitras regularly, one or the other, not all at a time. Sometimes I call them. I have got several mitras. I might have called around 20-30 people. I inquire about them because, and daily I do my entire sadhanas to see that my Arka mitras are totally prosperous. This is what we are trying to tell. We are trying to tell several months. We will slowly take them from basic elementary level of bhakti to higher level of bhaktis. In higher level of bhaktis, we are initiating people into Matangi, into Chitrambika, and ultimately these will automatically drop off. How will they drop off? In your childhood you are playing with toys. Are you carrying the toys with you right now? They have dropped off. You did not throw them away. So similarly all these will be dropped off. But don't drop them off amateur. You will be plucking a fruit which is not ripe. If you drop them, I don't, because you know God is not in these forms. I know, so I drop off God forms. I don't mean to say that, don't drop off. I know very well after this A for apple, B for ball is useless. So I directly want to write MSET or KSET and go become a doctor. Will anybody accept you? There is no track. So you have to pass through the whole test, decide where you have stopped, go further, where you are standing, you require a weighing pan. For this, before I go deeper into the subject, we are finishing off the introductory, but I would like to tell you one thing. It is faith which is required. The different puja vidhans which you are doing, you should know the meaning. What are the different puja vidhans we are following? We are doing the Shodasa Upachara pujas. What are the Shodasa Upachara pujas which we are doing? Avahayami, Hasto Prakshalayami, Pado Prakshalayami, what are Simhasanam Arohiyami, Andolikam Arohiyami, Abhishekam, Archana, Sahasra Bahuve Namaha, Vishala Bahuve Namaha, Ananta Vakshastalaya Namaha. What are all these pujas? It is stuti. You are performing snanam, abhishekam to God. You are doing panchamrita snanam to God. All these rituals which are given to you are making a note on your mind. Just like the students for 7th class or 8th class, they go in their uniform to schools. What is the purpose behind it? It is to wipe away the barriers in human beings, that he is a rich man, he is a Christian, he is a Muslim, to wipe away the barriers. We are all friends, oneness and unity. But it should be given not only in 7th class, it should be given after they are grown up. We maintain that is left off. So the elementary level is start with an intention that people ultimately they plan only to break it off, and then they realize that there is a unity between people. These religions are all nonsense. So to attain that, you have to pass through several sadhanas. To do a sadhana, you require to do at least spend few years in a Gurukula, which is not possible for us, sir. We will practice spirituality after 60 years. You go to any of the missions there, many, I am not commenting about everybody, you see people only of 70 years going, 80 years going to the missions, hearing the Bhagavad Gita told by 150 people. Lord Krishna has told Arjuna, I do not know how everybody have caught it, and that is being now told to everybody, and he expects there everybody has become a Krishna now explaining Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita is being explained by so many people. If this secret Krishna would have known, probably he would not have explained. That's what I feel. It is being explained, interpreted in a different pattern by so many people, each one a different pattern, and you are left ultimately into confusion. When you are hearing all this, you are required to do a particular sadhana, so you fall into a track. To enter into a track, you require to have a menu card. You purchase a cell phone, there is a card inside it which tells which is the aperture for the button, which is the place to off, which is the place to insert the battery. But for Bhakti, where is the menu card? You go into a Udupi hotel, you carry a card. You take a card, and in the card you ask him, what do you have? Idli, vada, dosha, puri, uttappa, and ultimately you order one. And for Bhakti, where is your menu card? You go there, ultimately enter into the temple, close your eyes. You cannot dare to look into the eyes of the God. By the time you open the eyes, you are pulled away. That's all. You are not able to enter into the temple with an open heart. You are not required to close your eyes inside the temple. You observe 90% of the people entering into the temple close their eyes. They are not able to withstand the power of God. And outside, actually there you have to register the statue in your mind with your open eyes. Come home and recollect it with closed eyes. That is the purpose. And there are around 150 to 200 beautiful points told by great sages which are given to for spiritual growth, ascension, along with your materialistic prospects. I want people to become rich. I want people to become healthy. I want people to be happy. I want people to be kind, to be helpful to others. And becoming rich is not wrong. With dhana, well, there are only Chaturvida Phalapurusharthas. And the second stands the Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Without Artha, there is no Artham, there is no Paramartham. Dharma is first, Artha is second, Kamyam is third, Moksham is fourth. There are people who hate money. They want to be very simple. How will you hate money? Somebody went to Mahatma Gandhiji and said, Gandhiji, my son, my child is eating too much of sweets. I want you to see that he stops it. You know, Gandhiji said, please come after a month. Why? He said, because I am habituated to sweets, I would like to stop it. After I stop, I will tell him. So you have to preach something which you practice. Such a noble soul, a Mahatma. He is a Mahatma, no doubt about it. So that is what is given to us in the entire spiritual scriptures, and we do not follow it. We are trying to tell all the secrets based, until we cannot directly start imparting to you Upanishad. What is written in Burhadaranyaka Upanishad? How to perform a Havan? What are the different mantras of Havan? What are the results you get out of a Havan? How different Shodasa Upacharas are done? These are taught step by step, step by step. And we have got a filter here. 100 people come to an introductory, 20 people turn out to Arkavidya. That's all. After Arkavidya, out of 20 people, 5 people appear in Vajrakilna. Out of the 5 people, 2 people vanish and 3 people come down to Shamantaka Vidya. These 3 from each group come down. After Shamantaka, they enter into higher levels of Agnikilna. There I get the filtering happens. The filtering is happening. People get dropped out. Those people, if they are called directly to Shamantaka Vidya, they will not have any vibration. They will not understand. There will not be any fun. I have filtered. We have made several filters, and ultimately when they reach the final filter, the initiation happens. The awakening happens. And to have the awakening, people close their eyes. I understand. I have gone to several people. I have interviewed several people. I have met several people who say, I am going to awaken your Kundalini. I am going to open your Mooladhara Chakra. I am going to vibrate your Brahma Grandhi. I open the knots of your Brahma Grandhi. If somebody says, I will eat for you, is it possible? I will sleep for you. It's not possible. He has to eat his own food, he has to sleep. It has to happen. I can give you a flight ticket from here to Delhi, but you have to go to the airport and alight the flight. So in Bhakti, we are trying to tell, if I am not able to tell you in Sanskrit, that does not mean we are missing the subject. We are giving in total the concept, the gist in English, in common man's language, so that everybody does. And the mantras, they are not translated, because mantras have got Bijakshara Dhvani Tarangas in it. So the mantras are given in the original form, and the explanations are very clearly given. So I invite everybody into Arkavidya, come and taste it, see the cream of it, flavor of it. If we are having 100 people into Arkavidya, I have just told you as an example, if 100 people have joined Arkavidya, we have got 95 people continuing it. We don't have several dropouts. There are few 5 or 6 people probably who are further more bigger than Arkavidya, who are very much enlightened and who have gone to bigger levels of Swamijis. But Arkavidya, the 95% of people whom we have got, they are practicing, continuing, they are not leaving, they are coming slowly. So they are on the track. I am not ridiculing the people who have left off. I thank them all to have come down to me. I thank everybody. It is your unconditional love which I am giving. And before you go away, I would like to tell you my last favorite example, which gives you an understanding, which will be very clear for you. There were 2 bosses who had 2 naukars, servants with them. One fellow says, my servant is a dunce, he is a dung-headed fellow, he doesn't have a brain. The other fellow says, even my servant is a useless fellow, he doesn't have a brain. I will show you how my servant is, and he calls his servant. He comes down. He gives him a 4.5 coin and says, go to the jewelry shop and get me wonderful jewelry. That fellow nods his head and goes away. This fellow laughed. Look at what a fellow he is. I have given him 4.5 and he goes to the jewelry shop to bring gold for me. So I will show you what a fool my naukar is. And he calls this man. This fellow comes down humbly, says, you go to the rose garden and see what I am doing there. My rose garden, you go there and see, inquire what I am doing there. He nods his head and goes away. These 2 people are laughing. What a fool these people are. And those 2 naukars who are going on the road met each other, and they were also laughing back. The first fellow says, what a fool my boss is. Today is Sunday and he sends me to the shop to bring gold. He does not know Sunday the shop is closed. And the other fellow is telling, what a fool my boss is. He should have called the gardener and inquired, why did this fellow send me? This example tells, to call the opposite person a fool, to ridicule a person as useless, to look at a beautiful statue and say this is nonsense, the eyebrow pseudo-intellectual comments made does not qualify you as superior to them. These are the fault finders in this world who cannot be happy. They are the people who come out and say, the pseudo-intellectual Shakespearean faces who comment everything. What is God? What is this fellow? What is the temple not maintained properly? What is this bloody director? He cannot direct properly. What is the story all? The entire industry is gone to dogs. The TV channels are useless. His uncle's son is useless. His wife's brother is useless. He does not like his neighbor. He does not like the food which is served by his wife out of love. He hates it. There is salt in it. He does not like his son. He does not like his father. He does not like anything. He is a person who says this is all useless and he is the supreme best in the world. So to criticize, you just mean to say that Himalaya is not very height, very tall, it's a useless mountain. That does not make you higher than the Himalaya. So what I tell, if you are looking at the sky and spitting, it ultimately falls on our face. You look at the sky and spit, it falls on our face. So before spitting, what I tell, introspect yourself. You are not able to look into the mirror. When you are looking into the mirror, you lift your right hand. Observe the image there. The image does not lift its right hand. It lifts its left hand. You think that is your image. So much of illusion. You close your right eye and look into the mirror. Inside the mirror you find the image closing its left eye. You get exactly, from your childhood you are looking into a mirror at an exactly opposite face of what you have. Face. You have never seen your face, how it is. You do not know your face. Your face you do not know. So there is so much in this world. We know very little. There is so much yet to learn. So I, with folded hands, I request you, Mitras who have come down to me, spirituality, what do you expect out of spirituality? Why do people join for some spiritual courses or sadhanas? Why do people go to these discourses? Why do you have to register for a course and join? Just answer yourself. Don't tell me. Suddenly you want to have some supernatural powers. Like in the films they show somebody with a beard, a tantric or a mantrik, he just throws his water on that fellow, that becomes a dog or a cat. Suddenly overnight you touch charcoal, it becomes gold. You want wings on your shoulders, overnight fly in the sky. These are what you are expecting. You will not get it now. You will not get it at this stage. You have to pass through. If you want to reach Taj Mahal, you go and search to get it. You have to travel to Delhi. You have to go to Agra. And at Agra you have got to reach to Taj Mahal. You have to step by step. You cannot do that. A small child wants to shave his beard. It is not possible for him. He has to wait until the beard grows. He has to wait for his age to come. It is not possible. He says he wants to shave, nothing happens. So you want the miracles to happen overnight. What else you want from God? Why are you going to the temple? Everybody is searching for one thing, peace. Everybody is searching only for one word, peace, peacefulness, and it is not there. Why peace is not there? Because you are not able to develop vairagya. Without vairagya, shanti is not possible to you. And to attain vairagya, what you have to do? You have to take up sannyasa. And sannyasa, what do you think? It is what is shown in the films, that at 60 years, 70, 40 years age, he commits too many liabilities with around 10 lakhs or 15 lakhs of liabilities and loans. He suddenly overnight goes away to a temple with his beard on and he goes like a sannyasi, not a sannyasi. Sannyasa is not running away from the house. Sannyasa is living with the house. The example given by Janamejaya to Janamejaya by Vedavyasa, the biggest sannyasi, the biggest yogi is Janaka Maharaja, who is a Maharaja, he is a king. So we are developing in people the detachment attitude through attachment. When you underline this word, detachment process through attachment, we are not trying to detach. We are trying to bring detachment in people by making them go towards attachment. And attachments will be automatically left off. What people are doing when they are suffering from sugar, their attachments are left off. So by a negative entry into the body, they have now stopped taking sugar. But by a positive entry also, you can write. There is a beautiful saying by a great misunderstood mystic of the century, a Bhagavan, an Osho, that if you don't want this table here, the plate here, you have to throw it out. If you don't want this fruits basket here, you have to send it out of this room. You don't want me here, neck me out. If you don't want light in this room, off the light. But if you have to drive away darkness, what you can do? You can do nothing to the darkness. You'll be only fighting in the darkness. You use swords also, darkness will not go. You have to bring in a third thing. Third thing is a light. Ignorance and darkness, they are same. And ignorance will never go away as long as you fight. You have to bring a third thing. Jnanam Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Unless the truth of Jnana is brought into a person, I can chant out thousands of slokas with their meanings to you, which will not have a purpose. I am going to initiate mantras to you which have got Bijakshara spells. I bow down to the lotus feet of my 23 gurus who have initiated me from my childhood. I am giving you passing on a sheet to you. I have done wonderful sadhanas. My sadhanas are so small. I am on my way. I am going to tell you what not to do than what to do. I will tell you this should not be done to enter into the sadhanas. Trust me, be with me, my mitras. I request you all, your friends, your relatives, to come into this wonderful, silent, spiritual revolution, the transfusion of the future which is going to come through Arkavidya. You trust me, I am going to take you step by step to the sovereign vertex point of ascension. Whether you are going to get the chalana out of the kilana or not, there is going to be a wisdom which will happen. People are reporting miracles happening. I am not a Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, but I am in search of a Vivekananda. I have already selected a handful of people, around 8 to 10 people, who are throbbing in those zones of becoming at least a 100th of a Vivekananda. There are so many Vivekas. I bow down to them. I thank you very much for attending my introductory session. Thank you. I have given the certificates. Certificates are well energized and they are kept under Nandu Baba after a beautiful chanting of Sahasranamas for several days. I have given it. I could have just distributed the certificates out of the way, but I have done it. Keep it framed in your house and see the energy coming out of the symbols there. There is a wonderful Richasa symbol there and also some advanced secret symbols behind it which will generate energy wherever it is. You need not display it on beside your name board. You can keep it inside in your bedroom. You will get your energy from there. It will travel everywhere. And next you come down to the further levels. Please be in touch. Let us grow. If you have got some spare time out of you, I know you are all busy people and Arkavidya is designed only for busy people. If you have got spare time, you try to devote some time for the Theosophia Shamantaka mission here and elsewhere and everywhere, so that helps you. That will give you, it will help me. And I coming down, somebody else will be benefited. Imagine if you are able to meet the people who have lost their stammering because of Arkavidya. If you can interview those people who have got their financial problems cleared, people with skin patches which are totally gone, people who are suffering from severe arthritis vanished because of Arkavidya. If I show people, you can interview them, such people, 20 to 30 people who are patients, who are totally set right. If I start making a propaganda of it, I am afraid only patients will join Arkavidya. That is a mishap. So we are not making a publicity of it. Ultimately, my Arkavidya hospital will be developed as a hospital, but not as an ascension process. So that we are keeping healing, we are not giving importance to healing at all. We are concentrating on ascension. People who are hasty, they run. There are people who do 101 courses, who do doors, windows, ventilators, plus they do learn BCA, they do LLB, they do MBA, they ultimately land nowhere. They do so many activities, jack of too many trades, mastering none. This is not that I am going to keep you attached, I am not going to leave you. You enter into the gate, you are caught. I am always beside you, at your heart, trying to take you step by step. I will not let you run away. I will tell you Chandamama stories to you and see that the food goes directly into your mouth.